Notre Dame College on ESPN Cleveland.
Coach Adam Howard, Mark Munch Bishop, ESPN Cleveland, live from the Connolly Center each and every Thursday. This is when we did the show, and you're hearing it, of course, replay before kickoff today. Virginia Weiss, 1 p.m. Coach, again, on any given day, as we said, any given Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday now, and sometimes Wednesday as the season goes on, anything could happen. You are facing a team now in Virginia Weiss that's 0-4 overall, 0-3 in the league. I can almost guarantee, until I mention it to you, you're aware of the record. The record's not even being mentioned on practice, in the film room, or anywhere else, is it?
Well, I mean, we've mentioned it because, we didn't want to ignore the fact that our players, know what it is. And, you can't judge a team, by the record. You really have to dig into the film and how are they playing, what kind of confidence are they playing with. And I got to tell you, they're extremely talented. They have some really good receivers, and they've done a good job. And they're just a couple of plays away, really. And if you look at it too on our end, I told our guys, we're at a turning point right now in our season. It's, we're 3-1. We very easily could be a winless football team. We're a couple of plays from being, winless, and we're also a couple of plays away from being undefeated. And I think we're also a couple of plays from, blowing people out and really establishing ourselves. So right now, I feel like right now in the season, and I've challenged them, I need to find out what type of football team we have, and what's the turning point going to be. And I believe it has to be this weekend. It has to be. We need to make a statement of who we are. What type of football team are we? And they're the same way. They're just a couple of plays away from being different than what the record says. So they played well against Wofford last week. They went right down the field. You could watch and cut up with them offensively and say they won the game. The way they played offensively against a 1AA team. So it's one of those things where we have to come ready, prepared to control the controllables and trust the trustables and get our job done.
Coach, I love what you said, because there's an old adage. I don't care who you talk to, whether I'm talking to Coach Adam Howard, whether I'm talking to Mike Patton, whether I'm talking to Bill Belichick, that they say games depend, regardless of the score sometimes, on a handful of plays. But there's also the saying is there may be 1 or 2 players max separating an 0-4 team from your 3-1 team.
Right.
Do you mind that attitude? That's why every play you've got to go hard. You got to treat every play like it's a game-winning play to win the championship.
No question.
Yeah.
It's a you could go back in the history of our program, and we're just a couple of plays away from being having winning seasons and doing different things, and it all comes down to that, and that's what we have absolutely attacked. I've tried to attack that as the head coach this week in terms of making sure that I'm absolutely intolerant of any behavior or any plays or any loafs that we have or anything that we can control in terms of our effort and attitude. It just doesn't exist. And then also trying to reinforce the behavior that's consistent with us winning football games. So it's you get what you demand, and I put a lot of pressure on people this week to make sure that we get that, and including our coaches and myself. But hey, no pressure, no diamonds.
Coach, I got to hit you with this, and actually, one of our listeners, one of the fans, just shot me an email about the second part of the question. But the first part's coming from me is that you talk to coaches, and to a degree, because you got to tune out. Sometimes your assistants, you ask for feedback. The buck stops at you. Your head coach, Adam Howard. Of course, the fans. God bless them. They're cheer for my team, but we got to do what we got to do. To be a successful coach, at times you need to be stubborn, don't you?
It's no question. You can't. One of my mentors, used to use the adage, don't tell me no, tell me how. And, that's what I think at the end of the day, you do get what you demand. And Jim Tressel used to use that all the time. You really do. What you see on film is, a product of what we're allowing to happen, or we're coaching it that way. And so I have just, I think I've been a little bit, made people uncomfortable this week, and I'm trying to do that every week. To
you haven't made me uncomfortable.
We're on our toes. So, I'm excited about seeing the product, because we do have very good people that are going to respond in a positive way.
Okay, now from the emailer with the running game and the dearth event last week, I will say, 25 yards, 23 rushing attempts. Does that make you even more stubborn that we're going to establish this run again and get that going, or you're going to give you're going to take what they give you?
Yeah, we're always going to try to run the football much. You can't go in a game and just try to attack them through the air. It's something that's always going to be a huge part of what we do. So, you can expect us to make quite a few attempts.
Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to execute hear it on ESPN Cleveland. Andy Bull-March will have the call for us here on Saturday. Coach, as always, I can't thank you enough. We'll do it again next week. It's always a pleasure being with you, my friend. And I don't need to say anything else, but go get him, all right?
Thanks, Munch.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
It is the Notre Dame College Coaches Show. Love.